I'm the most unfortunate man in India. I saw my girlfriend get her throat slit by a thug, but there was nothing I could do. The thug then stabbed me in the stomach. Before I could even react, he stabbed me more than 30 times. In the end, I collapsed to the ground, kneeling until my last breath. We never got to hold each other's hands one last time. And the reason we suffered this horrible fate, it was because the thug's leader fell in love with my girlfriend, but couldn't have her, so he took his anger out on us and killed us, to cover their tracks. The thugs set fire to the bus. The fire raged all night, and it wasn't until the next morning that rescue teams arrived. Everyone thought there were no survivors, but one of the workers found me still breathing while clearing the bodies. He was shocked and immediately rushed me to the hospital, but my injuries were so severe. Half of my face had been burned beyond recognition. The local doctors were helpless. Fortunately, a female specialist happened to be inspecting the hospital. Seeing my condition, she took over the surgery. After 48 hours of intense medical care, I was saved, but my head was wrapped up like a mummy, and the images of my girlfriend's death kept haunting my mind, bringing me out of my coma. This startled the doctors nearby, who slowly uncovered my face, revealing a handsome face that took their breath away. I stared at myself in the mirror, finding it hard to accept, but there was nothing I could do. Since God gave me life again, I vowed to send those who killed my girlfriend straight to hell. The next day, I left a thank you letter for the doctors and set out on my path of vengeance. There were 4 people who killed us. I started by taking pictures of each of my enemies with a camera, then followed their usual hangouts. Back in my apartment, I pinned the photos of my enemies to the wall, writing their death number next to each one. Once everything was ready, I launched my revenge plan. The first target was this man. He was walking down the street, unaware that I was behind him. I put on a hat, pulled out a small 40 meters knife, and was about to strike when a girl suddenly came up behind me, asking me to save her. I looked at her hand resting on my shoulder, and it reminded me of my girlfriend, who used to hide behind me like that. So I decided to hold off on attacking the man, taking the girl to a safe place instead. Once she was safe, I went after the man again. I lured him to an abandoned building. When he wasn't paying attention, I snuck up behind him and punched him out. When he woke up, his body was tied up with wires. I had 2 giant iron hooks, and I hooked them up to high voltage power lines with 100,000 volts of electricity. I then flipped the switch, leaving him to be electrocuted to death right there. Later, I returned to my apartment, burned the man's photo, and locked onto my next target. This man was a corrupt local cop. He was the one who stabbed me more than 30 times.